Greetings, Judah. DFG at Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, just want to share some thoughts with you this morning. With all of the weather going on around the nation, I think I was looking at something on yesterday. Well, looking at it earlier today about yesterday. I'm sorry, and it was saying like 73% of the country was covered with snow. Now that may not be the phenomenon that we're being told that it is, but inside of that, the millions and millions of people, the millions of people who are now going without electricity, who are having to borrow water because their water is not safe, to drink. When you hear that and you begin to reflect on that, or you should be reflecting on that, a simple question should come to your mind. Why weren't these people prepared? You know what I'm saying? We are told, even in man wisdom, that we shouldn't suffer fools peacefully. Say that again. We are told, even in man's wisdom, we should not suffer fools. In other words, we should not put up with foolishness, nor should we entertain fools. And what that simply means is that when someone rejects knowledge, when someone is rejecting information that's beneficial to their well-being, that's advantageous to their health and welfare, when they reject that, then we should see them as, or should take in our mind and put them as a castaway. In other words, someone, I guess that's the right way to say it, individuals that we put from amongst us. Now, we may not be able to remove them from our homes, because it could be a spouse or a child. We may not be able to remove them from our workplace because they could be a co-worker. But we absolutely can remove them from our sanctuary. In other words, cut them off. Just cut off all social relationships with them. All relationships that go beyond good morning, good afternoon, did you eat, did you cut off the lights, just general conversation. Outside of that, there should be no more emotional contact, no more, emotional connectivity with these individuals, because they're fools. And when when we suffer fools, ultimately we become the foolish. Even our book tells us don't argue with a fool, because in arguing with a fool, a stranger may come up and overhear that conversation, and in confusion, really not be able to determine who is the fool inside of that argument. In other words, you're going to look like a fool, and the person that you arguing with, who is the fool, what I'm saying, to that stranger, both of you guys look like you're idiots. So y'all tell us, don't argue with foolish people. Don't try to, persuade them, influence them once you have concluded that they're not interested in wisdom. They're not interested in understanding. I'm going to share more about this in the book of Enoch on Saturday, but do you know that wisdom came down? Yah sent wisdom to the earth. It's in the book of Enoch. Yah sent wisdom down on the earth to cohabitate with Israel, or with his seed, the chosen ones, the apple of his eye. I would go as far as to say the seed of Adam. He sent wisdom down here to cohabitate with us. And you know what we did? We rejected wisdom. We saw the first sign of that with the situation that happened in the garden with Adam and Eve. That was wisdom, when Yah told them that they should not, eat from the tree of good and evil. That was wisdom speaking to them. Look at Enoch again, validates this thing. And so since we rejected wisdom as mankind, wisdom went back to the heavens, where it came from. And you know what Yah sent in its place? Wickedness. Wickedness. And now wickedness is preeminent amongst mankind today. Wickedness, not wisdom. And now in wisdom, and the strange thing about it, where wisdom, according to the book of Enoch, could not find a place of habitation, wickedness did. Yes, wickedness found a place of habitation amongst mankind. Because men love evil, men love darkness more than men love the light. And what is the light? Understanding, rationalization. long suffering, patience, joy, happiness, and probably a few more that I could add to that I'm not thinking about. But when it comes down to those things, mankind has shown there's no interest there. Therefore, mankind have been fools. Because what happens when they decide to get in bed with wickedness, the first thing they started, the first person they started to accuse of unrighteousness. Now here it is, your ass is in bed with wickedness. And when wickedness starts to bear fruit in your life, because it will, when wickedness starts to destroy your life, because it will, the first thing that the unrighteous among us do? Guess who they blame? They go turn around and they blame Yah. They blame Yah. And therefore, then they justify their unbelief. They justify their atheism. They justify their rejection of Yah because they decided, not Yah brought evil to them, they decided to embrace evil and go to bed and be in intercourse, if I can use that term, with evil. And then when evil started to bear forth its wicked fruit, and it became detestable to them, not wickedness, just the fruit of their wickedness, they turned around and blamed Yah. And many people, even in Judah, are doing that very thing right now. And again, and partly it's the reason why Judah hates itself. Not all of us, but most of us. Judah will do anything within its nation to one another in its nation. But when it comes down to these heathen nations, Judah snaps to attention really, really fast. And they really give thought before they do something to these heathen nations. They reflect on that. Not saying they don't go forward, because Judah, many women in Judah are just foolishly ignorant. So I'm not saying that they don't go out there and enact some of the debauchery and wickedness on the heathens. So every now and then they get bold, but when they do, the heathens come at them with such fury that they definitely think twice about it before they do it again. But inside of Judah, it's no such reflection. It is, get out of my face. I don't care. I'm not supporting them. I don't trust them. They can't be trusted. All of the other things you hear. They're no good. I'm talking about inside of Judah. And that's because of that wickedness that Judah decided to embrace. Israel decided to embrace. So when wisdom came, we told wisdom, shoo, get out of here. But then when wickedness came, we found a place for wickedness to be our bed partners. And so when you look back at the situation in Texas, or doesn't matter, Louisiana, North Carolina, Kentucky, Massachusetts, any of these states, how many times have we warned and forewarned that you need to keep water? Come on, how many times you've heard the messenger share that with you? You should always have water in your home. You should always have blankets in your homes. You should always have candles in your home. You should always have first aid kits in your homes. Hand warmers, gloves, caps. How many times have we said this? But as the wicked among us always do, I don't want to hear that. That's just fear tactics. You're just trying to scare me. Don't listen to these guys. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't care. They're just trying to get ratings. They're just trying to get subscribers. They're just trying to get some money. Well, all three of those things don't mean a damn thing to DFG. So if you're saying that about me, then you're just a wicked liar. But because my intention has always been sincere and genuine, because my intention is to serve Elohim, to use my voice, use this platform, use whatever he puts in my hands, as he told our forefather Moses, when Moses was commissioned to go and bring forth a message to Pharaoh to release the people of Yah from their yoke, from their bondage. And Moses was asking, what am I going to use? Where's my army? Are you going to send me an army of men? We're going to raise up an army. What kind of weapons we're going to have? What kind of metal we're going to have? How many horses, chariots, elephants? Tell me everything we're going to have, Yah, because Pharaoh's army is big. So walk me through the plan. You know what Yah told him? Or asked him better. He said, what do you have in your hands, Moses? That was the question. Moses said, well, I got a rod in my hand. He said, your war tactics, your war plan is going to be using that rod in your hand. And I'm going to be with you. And that's all you need. That's what he told Moses. And obviously, that was a fact. And Moses, in his wisdom, although he questioned some things and could have got himself, killed by Yah, he still moved forward because he knew that Yah knew better. The wisdom of Yah is always going to be greater than, the wisdom of this world. Because the wisdom of this world, if you want to know the truth of it, my brothers and my sisters, the wisdom of this world is wickedness. Yes, wickedness is just WW. W wisdom, W wickedness. The wisdom of this world is just simply wickedness. Just like wisdom can be elevated and do great miracles and wonders, wickedness can be elevated and do such debauchery, it will blow your mind. Unbelievable wretchedness. Another W. That wickedness can bring forward. Because it imitates good. The darkness tries to imitate good, but one is for evil and one is for elevation of the people of Yah through their trust of Yah. So when you look at all these families who are suffering out here because of this weather pattern, whatever the hell they call this thing, I see as another sign of judgment. But all these families out here who are suffering, they're suffering because of stubbornness and rebelliousness and their own unbelief. So, be honest with you, some of us are having a hard time feeling sorry for them. I mean, I have compassion for their children, the innocent among them. Because they're the ones, they're victims of their own parents' wickedness, self-centeredness, hatred for the word of Yah. Because if you trust the word of Yah, then as long as that messenger is using the book to bring forth this truth, when you reject this truth, you're rejecting Yah. We heard that with Moses when he told Korah and all those other ones when they wanted to rebel against Moses. Who made you prince of everybody? And Yah told Moses, don't fret. They ain't rejecting you when you can bring forth the truth to them. They're rejecting me. So send them on out here so I can slaughter their asses. And the same thing he told to Samuel when the people wanted a king. Yah told Samuel, don't get out of your feelings. Get out of your feelings, Samuel. You're taking things way, way, way too personal, like many of us do when we reject it or when we try to bring forth this truth and we're rejected by the people that we love from receiving that truth. We get in our feelings and get all, worked up. And, just like Yah told Samuel, look, they're not, you get out of your feelings. When they reject this truth, they're not rejecting you. Same thing to you, my brothers and sisters. When they reject this truth that we bring to them from the word, precepts, I might add, line upon line, they're rejecting Yah. And that's exactly what these people did who did not heed the warning to be prepared for a tough winter. And this has been said. I know I said it many, many times. This winter was going to be a winter like no other. And we're just getting in the thick of it, I might add, my brothers and my sisters. There's a lot more to come. But you think about these families right now who've been in the dark for 3 days with no way to get out of their homes, no gas in their automobiles, running out of food. There are food lines right now in Texas going all up and down the blocks. And guess what happened when the people get to the actual get inside the supermarkets? Guess what they find? Much to their dismay, there's no food left. Now think about it. You could be one of those individuals at home with blankets, gloves, food, water, cuddling up, safe, not in a car trying to get warm and die from carbon monoxide poisoning from your exhaust pipes because you're trying to get warm, or standing in some damn line all day long only to get to the dang on counter and there's no food, or get into the building and there's nothing left. So you could be one of those two. Which one you think would be wise, or the wise ones in that group, versus which ones you think would have been the wicked in that group? And again, let me bring this thing back in. What is wickedness? Wickedness is rejecting knowledge. Where's knowledge? It comes from above. Wisdom, understanding. So when you're rejecting it, you're rejecting Yah. I know you don't think you are, but I'm telling you, that's what you're doing. That's what Yah said in his word. He said, when I bring forth the truth and the people don't take heed to it, they're not rejecting the messenger or the prophets. They're rejecting me, says Yah, says Elohim. And again, at some point, brothers and sisters, you had better open up your heart and receive that truth. Because if you don't, you are going to reap what you are sowing. You're going to bed with wickedness, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to find some little wicked bastard. In other words, a result that's going to be detrimental to you and those that you love. That's what's going to go on. That's what's going on right now. And that's why it's hard for many of us to have empathy for these individuals. We don't want no harm to come to them. I know I don't. But how do I sit here and say, oh, I feel bad for them when I warned and warned? Many of us have warned and warned, and they did nothing. Most of them, when they got that stimulus money, they went straight and bought an Xbox 5 or 7, whatever the latest one is, or the latest cell phone, or the latest, Gucci bag, or who knows what they waste resources on. Like y'all said, they put money in bags with holes in it. They put money in pockets that have holes in it. In other words, it does them no good because they don't know how to use it to increase wealth. They only know how to use it for wastefulness, lustful things. And now they're being judged, and justifiably so, because that validates the word of Yah. If Yah did not judge them, Yah would be a liar. So Yah has to judge them for their behavior. He has to judge us for our behavior. If he does not judge us for our behavior, and it's written in the book, the wages of sin is death, then that makes Yah a liar like man. And Yah is not man that he should lie. He is not. So therefore, this judgment just validates that we can trust in Yah. So why should we be sad when Yah is proving himself or showing himself strong to those whose hearts are perfect towards him? Why should we be angry? Why should we be upset when Yah is enriching us because we have dedicated ourselves to teaching and doing the best we can to live by his laws, statutes, and commandments, not sacrifices and ordinances? I heard a guy the other day talking about you can't be talking about Yah with a hat on your head. Yet this idiot is shaving his head. Go figure. If you're going to go by the sacrifices, I can't wear a cap, what the hell are you doing with a shaved bald head? That's the Mike Malice guy. Some of you guys may be subscribed to his channel. So what are you talking about, my friend? My brother? Yah's not interested in your sacrifice. He's interested in your obedience. To obey is better than to sacrifice. You understand that? But let me bring this thing home in terms of, why we should not, run from wisdom. Because when we do, all we're doing is running into wickedness. It's a form of spiritual adultery. Spiritual fornication. You hear Revelation talking about, they committed, the nations of the earth committed adultery or fornication with the great mystery whore Babylon. It's talking about when you love the things of this world and the ways of this world, and you trust the things of this world more than you trust the word of Yah, then you just become a whoremonger or a whore, sleeping around with the enemy, the spiritual enemy, who goes under the heading of wickedness. Subtle, but wicked all the same. Tricky, but wicked all the same. Charming, but wicked all the same. Manipulative, but wicked all the same. Influential, but wickedness all the same. Inspiring, but wickedness all the same. If they don't line up their knowledge, their wisdom, their words, their information with the book. Now let me close this by sharing something, giving you, something out of the book, out of our history book. Some food for you. Maybe you'll write this down. Again, if this video means something to you, then you should share the video. Unless you can go out there and do it. Let's say it this way. If you have no intention today to witness to someone about Yah, because of whatever reason, you don't have an automobile, you don't have transportation, you don't have gas, you don't have resources, you don't have the time, then how much time will it take for you to share the video? Because that video, being the fact that you shared it, will do your part in spreading the gospel, not the gospel, but spreading the scripture to the people. That's something, isn't it? Isn't that better than doing nothing? So that's an opportunity right there for you to use it. And y'all gave that little bit of information to me a couple of days ago to share. Because I was pushing back. I'm like, well, y'all don't want, this audience to think that I'm leaning on them for something other than the word being spread. Because some of our people, through their own wickedness, he just wants subscribers. He just wants views. My friend, if it was about views and subscribers, I would have given up this platform a long time ago. Just go look down there and see how many views these videos typically get. And how many subscribers are the growth in these subscribers over the last 2 or 3 years. It's very marginal, my friend. So it is definitely not my motivation. What's my motivation? Is what I'm doing. Spreading the word, spreading the truth to open up the eyes of those who are blinded. Because the God of this world, Satan, intentionally blinded many of us, our people. And some of the strangers, the heathens too, if they care to listen in. If they can steely up and deal with the sins and the wickedness of their fathers and convert over to us and humble themselves and seek Yah, them too. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. But with a very few. But this word is for you, my brothers and sisters. That's my point. So if you're not bold enough and emboldened enough to go and spread the word, or you don't feel like you're fluent enough in the word or well studied in the word, then use these videos and share the video. What's the worst thing gonna happen? Stop sending me them videos. That's okay. You did your part. See, Yah said, he told the disciples, go knock on them doors. Yeshua said, you go knock on the doors of all of our people. You go into, knock on the doors. You know what he said to them? If they open the door and welcome you in, go in. He said, if they don't welcome you in, dust your feet at the door. But you still go. You still go. So my point is, don't worry about if they reject the videos or they reject these messages. Send it anyway. Once you've done that, you've done your part. It's up to Yah and them to do the rest. But if you do nothing at all for fear that they're going to think something wrong with you, fear that they think you crazy or you're in a cult or something, then shame on you. Shame on you. You're a coward. You know what Revelation 21:8 said? Let me share that with you right quick. I promise you, brothers and sisters, stick with me. I talked about this before, but let me tell you, let me read something to you real quick. If you are afraid because of what they're going to say or how they're going to, praise Yah. I turn right to this. Praise Yah. Going to back it up. Just so you know, I'm not BSing you. You don't see a marker there. Turn right to it. So y'all wanted me to share this. Revelation 21:8. He says, but the fearful. You heard me, brothers and sisters? The fearful. That's for you. I don't want nobody to think I'm in a cult. I don't want nobody to think somebody's leading me. I don't want nobody to think I'm a follower. Son, brother, sister, mother, father, daughter. Are you kidding me? When you're serving Yah, that's not following. That's called empowerment. That calls being a part of the body. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now, if I share something that's not in this book, that's different. But if we're talking about what's in this book and what's going on right now in these streets and these cities and these states all across this nation and many parts of the world, that's got nothing to do with following. That's got everything to do with wisdom. But look how he starts off. He says, but the fearful, those of you who are afraid that someone's going to say something about you because you're sharing the word of Yah, and the unbelieving, and the abominable, the murderers, whoremongers, sorcerers, those of you guys who believe in witchcraft, for lack of a better word, magic, so to speak, chanting, that kind of foolishness, voodoo, all of that stuff, rosaries, Catholicism, witchcraft, the sorcerers, and idolatry, those who are going into these synagogues with with all kind of statues and all kind of crosses and all kind of images, things made from man's hands that Yah said that you should never construct and put in the place of Yah as a signal or a place card for the people. He said, you make no images to glorify me. None. And all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. You see what you're going to get for your fearfulness, my brothers and my sisters, if you're afraid to speak and testify and witness on the name of our people, for the saving of our people. He said, you're going to be put in the lake of fire when you die. See, when you die, you are going to go into the lake which burns with fire and brimstone. And you're never going to return from that place. Is that worthy to you to deny, to be an unbeliever, to be fearful? And see, these liars, he's talking about those people who have taken the word of Yah and manipulated that word and used this word for self-edification. What am I talking about? I'll give you a classic example. When those Pharisees and Sadducees came to Yah, I think it's John 8:44. He told them, no, you're not the men of Yah. You're not Abraham's sons. You're the children of the devil. And he was a liar from the beginning. He's talking about lying prophets and teachers. Exactly who he's talking about. Just for some of you guys say, ooh, see, he said anybody that told a lie. Look, many of your forefathers told lies. Am I advocating lies? No, I'm not advocating a liar. Are you serious? But when he's talking about the false prophets and false teachers, the one that Yeshua warned us that was soon to come. He said many will be deceived by them. And when they come and saying, lo, this is what Yeshua said, believe him not. Oh, yeah, this is what you can find here, and where you can find Yeshua. He said, do not go to the churches. That's what he said, Matthew 24. Read it for yourself. But I've just given you one precept, two precepts, and let me give you the final precept here. And it's going to close where we started. Now, this is 2 Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 9. He says, for the eyes of Yahuwah. Now, what does it mean by the eyes? He's not just talking about physical eyes. Yah, it's a spirit in a body like we're spirits in a body. So these people talking about Yah has no color, you're a liar. You have a spirit and you have a color. The book says he does have a figure, but he's spirit first, like you are, even though you don't know it. So next time someone tell you that Yah, I don't see color, because Yah, the Most High, don't have a color, you're a liar. Read Daniel 7. Read Revelation chapter 1. He is a spirit in a body. Yes, he is a spirit, but he does have a body. At least in the realm of man, he does. So anyone telling you that he's a spirit, he don't have no color, they are liars. You need to call them out for that. But the spirit of Yah, the eyes are his presence. His presence is everywhere. That's what it means when it says the eyes. Let me go on. It says, the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth. It's interesting. Remember in the book of Job, in chapter 1, where Yah asked Satan where he was and what he was doing? Remember what Satan says? I'm going to and fro in the earth seeking whom I may destroy. Isn't that something? And here, over here in Chronicles, it says that Yahuwah is everywhere Satan is. Isn't that something? So Yahuwah is watching your wickedness, is what I'm saying to you. You're in the book. He's writing it in the book. He's taking account. So you better be taking account too, my brothers and sisters. He's taking account. So wherever Satan is, the presence of Yah is there. To and fro in the earth, like a roving lion, as it says, seeking who he can destroy. Say, where you been at? Oh, I've been up and down and throughout the whole earth. Then Yah said, have you considered my servant Job? Let me get back to this particular verse of scripture. Praise Yah. It says, for the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth. Why? Why, my brothers and sisters? Why is Yahuwah doing this? What, to spy you out? What, is he trying to do some kind of spy gate, some Weber spying? No. That's not why Yah is there. Here is why Yah is there. Here's why you want to be in our book, my brothers and sisters. This is why he's there. To show himself strong in the behalf of those whose hearts is perfect towards him. Now, ain't that something? So he's not there to condemn us. He's there to strengthen us, to show us his power, his magnificence. That's why he's there. Satan is there to do just the opposite, to lead you onto the path of destruction. That's why you should resist anything that has any sign or resemblance of evil. Refrain from all signs of evil is what the book tells us to do as believers, as the followers of the way. What way? Yah's way. We're not Christians, at least not the believers, not the true believers. We are men and women of the way of Yah, the children and the ancestors of Yah, or at least the inheritance of Yah. Let me get on into this. But he wants to show, think about that, my brothers and sisters. This, man, if you haven't highlighted this yet, I'm going to ask you a question. What are you waiting for? If you haven't highlighted this yet, what are you waiting for? This should become one of your favorite verses. Now, it says, the eyes of the Most High go out throughout the whole earth, looking to do what? To show himself strong, mighty, on behalf of those who have a heart to serve Yahuwah. You understand that? Do you understand that, my brothers and sisters? That is the magnificence that we have as being a part of the people of the body of Yah. The apple of Yah's eye. It's what he said about us, Israel and Judah. But let me bring this thing on in. Praise Yah. Herein, now this is where it breaks off at. Now you heard the positive. All right? You've heard the positive. Now let me show you what happens. This is where it breaks off at. It's just a conjunction, not a conjunction, but an abruption. Bam! Therefore, from henceforth, no, he said, to those whose hearts are perfect towards him. He said, but then he goes on and said, because you rejected me, because he's talking to a wicked king here, who went and sided with the enemy to go against the people of Yah, like many of Judah does right now inside of us. Our people fight us. Our people are like crabs in a basket, as they say. We can't even rely on our own brothers and sisters. They betray us. They spy us out. They rob us. They murder us. They steal from us. They blaspheme us. They say all kind of wicked things against us to the enemies and amongst themselves. He said when they do that, and when you're doing that, if you're guilty of doing that, Yah say you are doing foolishly. He said here, he said, you have done foolishly siding up with the enemy. Therefore, from henceforth, from now on, forever, long as you're alive, and long as your children's children, long as your children, your children's children, your children's children's children, your children's children's children, and your children, onto the seventh generation, are never going to have peace. He said they're going to have wars. And we see that right now. Look what's going on with our people. All these generations later, and we're still killing and warring amongst ourselves, along with the enemy on constant attack from all sides. And why? Because we have rejected the truth and done foolishly. So those people out there in Texas and all these other states, if you have relatives out there, again, share the message with them. Share the video with them. More importantly, you tell them they better get them some preserves. They better take this next stimulus check if you're going to accept it. And you better get some water, gloves, blankets, candles, all these things that you did not have this go round. Fill your car up with gas so you don't have to go wait in no gas lines. And keep it full of gas. You get to a quarter down, or 1/4 use, you put another quarter of gas in there. So when these emergency times come, you're not out there in food lines looking for food that's not going to be there. Boiling water because shit is in the water. Piss is in the water. You're boiling that water because that water has not been purified. That's toilet water. That's sewer water that they're asking you to drink. And you don't think that's full of all kind of bacteria? You don't think that's going to make you sick and get you soon as this, whether you'll be going to the hospital with diarrhea, and next thing you know, you'll be hospitalized, diagnosed as having the plague. And who knows what's going to come after that. Praise Yah. That was a word of wisdom. But all that being said, my brothers and my sisters, that's all I got for you this afternoon. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your listening. But most importantly, I asked you to do something. Eat this word. If you don't share, that's okay. It's not being, you don't have to do anything. But there is a commandment out there that we need to go out throughout the whole world and teach the word, share the word. That is a commandment. Okay? Just so you know. And if you can't do it one way, there are many other ways, y'all, without excuse, my brothers and sisters. If you turn this channel on, then you're capable of spreading the word. Correct? Right? Then do it. Other than that, talk to you soon. I think I've done this part of my part for y'all today. And whatever y'all bring for me today, I'm ready for that as well. Let's end this with a quick little, prayer. May Yah bless you. May Yah protect you. May Yah put his rahuk around you. May Yah give you mercy and grace. May Yah shine his light in front of your path. And most of all, may Yah bring forward to you, my brothers and my sisters, peace. DFG. Talk to you later. Bye now.